Well folks, welcome again to Inside the Fusee. And here we're going to have a look at this pocket watch by Hayward Ashford. And as you can see, it's got rather an ornate bridge there. And we're going to see if there's any parts on this we can rescue and maybe have a look at some of the faults that can occur with these things. This again, like the last one we did, has had a lot of water damage. So you'll see that as we take the bridge off. So with this particular type of watch, the spring, when it's in good condition, is attached to this little post with a chock. Normally you would kind of loosen that post off at the same time as the bridge, and it is worth noting that these posts, they usually have a little pin at the back there, and that pin helps keep the post straight. As you can see, this post just comes straight off. So I think we have a disintegrated spring, and when you think about how thin these springs are, only a small amount of rust can just destroy it. So look after your pocket watches, folks. Don't put them in water. So there you go, you can see there we've got the remains of the spring, which is trashed completely. Now doesn't have a great pivot on the top. It does have a jewel that's intact underneath. It's not as rusty as the last one we took apart, but I don't know if you would use that again. You maybe could, whether you'd want to is another question, I suppose. Okay, so that's the traditional bits taken off, and we'll just remove this, which is the dial. So this face has got a few problems, and there's a bit of cracking to the enamel at the bottom here. The second dial's missing, and the second pivot there, a little bit rusty. Probably won't be using that again. If we spin it around, we then have some damage here too, which is where the hinge goes. So what you see here, these are the motion wheels, which have been loose inside. So if I put the winder onto that motion wheel, it should just drop through. And that is a useless face now. It's a bit of a shame really, but you can't really get these re-enamelled, unfortunately. So if we briefly, just quickly, we'll just put these motion wheels back. You can see the other one goes back here, and it meshes just here with what looks like a very rusty adjuster there. And then this one here, which has part of the hand top on it still, that meshes in with this one here, which drives the other hand, I believe. So they are recoverable cogs, but it looks like, well, that does move actually, so that may well be recoverable too. So we removed the case mountings, the spring clip, and what was left of the hinge, which was broken. So after removing the third wheel, this is the third wheel bridge just here, you can probably note that the little pin there from the second hand is still on the bridge. And so we have a second hand pinion here, which is snapped, and that's because of the rust. No easy way to do that otherwise. Now the third wheel, which would have sat there, has been taken out, and then the fusee has been diffused using a method in one of my previous videos. The next thing to do is to just uncock the drum, which uses this piece here. And you can see that just turn a little bit, so these can now be removed. Now if you note with the barrel bridge, there is another pin just there at the top. So you can just see there, this is preventing it from coming away. So we finally got it away, and as you can see there's quite a bit of rusty stuff going on. Looks like there's a rusty lever fork, an escape wheel, and another wheel there, and there's rather an encrusted fusee, but the chain is intact, and that's testimony, because they're usually made from pretty good quality steel, and that's usually why they don't rust as much. So removal of these, they should just lift out, and they are not too badly rusted that they can't be lifted out. Oh, that one did catch a bit, right enough. and then that one there, which I can't remember what that's called. Okay, so I take this is the ratchet for the fusee. Okay, ratchet spring, actual ratchet itself. Now, the fusee and the barrel should just lift off, and we need to disconnect. You have to be careful here because you don't want to damage that chain. Yeah, disconnect the two of them between that. And that's still movable. Look at that, still going. Right, so that's almost everything off that, really. Okay, so unhooking this fusee chain. If it's still moving, which it is, you just work it a little bit and it will come away. And it's not broken or anything, which is good. So now we need to just take it off the barrel and we'll check the spring. Well, that was good. That does look good. Okay, the steel is a little bit rusted, but it's quite good quality steel, so it probably won't be very deep. Look at that piece. This is the overwind mechanism. These little chock needs to come out of there. And then that'll just come free. And then there's just a jewel to remove just here. And that is a very good jewel. Well folks, that brings us to the end of this little video. Thanks so much for watching folks, bye.